Hello, Krishna. Hi, good morning, all. Okay, today I'm going to discuss about Spring introduction. Okay, now what is the prerequisite of Spring? First, what is the prerequisite of Spring? Okay, if you want to learn Spring framework, first you should know Core Java and Advanced Java. Core Java, Advanced Java. Yes, if you know these two, now working with Spring, learning Spring is very simple. Yes, if you're strong in Core Java, understanding Spring module is nothing. One module, Spring Core module. Okay, so I think everyone knows about Core and Advanced, right? Okay. Uh, Core Java, yes, main oops concepts, collections, exceptions. Yeah, main, okay, constructors, setter methods, simple topics. Advanced Java, you should know some knowledge on JDBC, okay, servlets and JSP. Servlets and, JSPs. Okay. Now, if you know Hibernate, well and good. Even if you don't know Hibernate, but still no problem. Okay. Why? Because in Spring we have one module called Spring ORM. If you know Hibernate, you can understand Spring ORM module. But if you don't know Hibernate, understanding ORM module is not possible. Learning Spring means not learning one module or ORM module. The number of modules you have. Okay. Yes, the number of modules you have. That's why uh, we can learn remaining models except ORM if you don't know Hibernate. But really, if you know Hibernate, at least basics where we are using Hibernate, what is session factory session, okay, how to connect database, how to insert one record, simple, in introduction part. Yes, you can understand again Spring ORM. Okay, now a Spring is not like Core Java, Advanced Java. Spring has a number of features, a number of models. Go to Spring site like start.spring.io, spring.io. Okay. Now here just switch full versions of Spring. See Spring Core, just a model security, Lombok, Deva tools, okay, session. cache validation, retry, JTA. Go to web. Okay, web REST repositories, HITIOS, WebSocket, REST docs. Okay, WADin. Okay, mobile. SQL related configuration. Just now we discussed, right? Hibernate. Yes, JPA, ORM tool. Okay, Hibernate is also ORM tool. Java persistence API, including Spring Data, JPA, Spring ORM, and Hibernate. MySQL, H2 database, JDBC, MyBetis, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, HSQLDB, Apache DB, okay, Flyway. Okay. Now, even NoSQL database also it supports. Messaging, if you want to work with Java messaging, JMS messaging, exchanging the data, information between application to application. We have RabbitMQ, Kafka, JMS, yes, JMS, okay. Cloud computing, cloud, okay, to work with the cloud, okay, yeah, we have some cloud deployment, okay, cloud configuration, cloud routing, cloud discovery, cloud, circuit, cloud messaging, cloud tracing, AWS supports, okay, pivotal cloud foundry, cloud contract. Sir, really, Spring is not like your core Java. Okay, we have limited syllabus in core or even in advanced Java also. Yes, we can tell, yes, this is the main syllabus, but Spring not like this. Even we have social model also, is integration with Facebook, integration with LinkedIn, integration with the Twitter, okay, IO, okay, n number of models you have, n number of models, see. Okay, that's what we are doing. Main models I divided into two parts in Spring. Sometimes or some people, depends on industry recommending, industry, company requirement, okay, you may learn some models, like to work with Spring projects, or to get job in company. If you are looking for job, okay, people may think only this area, okay. In even industry also, they are looking for basics of Spring, I mean base models, like the simple models. It's not a simple models, but this is a frequently used model in the company, okay. Now that's why we divided Spring into two parts. Okay, first we'll discuss these parts. I mean these models. Spring Core. Spring Core is a heart and entire Spring IOC. Spring Core or IOC. Inversion of control or dependency injection. Okay. Now Spring DAO or JDBC. Spring ORM. Spring AOP. Now here you can learn Spring with Hibernate integration. Okay, Spring with okay Hibernate integration, AOP, MVC, JMS, email. Okay, now this is simple Spring basic modules. I mean Spring. Now Spring Advanced, that is separate session, advanced session. There I am going to cover Spring Boot, Spring Data, Spring Batch, Spring Security, Spring Accurator, Spring Microservices, Spring Cloud. Yes, this is my plan in Spring. Okay, learning Spring means no need to learn all the modules. So with only this module, only this okay, first module. Yes, the Spring core module, you can put experience on Spring. Just believe me, sometimes you may work with only Spring core. Spring core. If you know only Spring core, yes, we can put experience on Spring core. Okay, but the Spring core used in some scenarios in real world. Okay, for example, if you have any okay public class employee DAO, sir, to connect database we are designing DAO, right? Public void insert employee, public void insert employee. Now what we are doing here, here we are writing, okay, System dot, yeah, sorry, we are connecting database, right? Okay, connect the database, connect the database, okay, and insert record, connect the database and insert the record. Okay, to connect database, uh, we need connection, right? Yes or no? Connection, private connection, connection. How to get the connection object before Spring? I mean before Spring, without Spring. Sir, connection equal to driver manager dot get a connection, right? Get driver manager dot get connection of. We have to pass URL comma username, right? Okay, username comma password. This is the story, already. This story we learned in core advanced Java. But instead of creating object using this code, I am asking Spring. Hey Spring, please create object for this connection and inject into employee DAO, set into employee DAO. Now I'm not creating any object. We are asking to the framework to create the object. Done. This is simple core module. This area we are using core. To inject one object into another object, we are using what? Spring core. To inject a connection object into DAO object into service layer object into view layer or controller layer, we are using Spring. That means once you learn Spring Core, yes, we can put experience on Spring Core. We can use Spring Core in real world also. Sir, only Spring Core we can develop. Okay, yeah, we can use Spring in real world application. But nowadays, working with some real time projects means they are using n number of Spring modules. Development is very simple if you are using any Spring. But if you use Spring Boot, this is another module in Spring introduced in Spring 4 and 5. Okay, Spring Boot. Development of production based applications are very simple. Directly you can deploy, production. Okay, now that means, generally to work with production based application like, dev, test, prod. Okay, now a lot of configurations you have to design it. But with simple minimal changes, changes in the application, we can deploy your application into the where production environment. That is possible. That is possible. Okay. Now, yeah. See here, how many models you have in Spring? Spring Core, DAO, ORM, AOP, MVC, JMS, and email. Depends on our application requirement, company requirement. Okay, you may use these modules. All are independent modules. Sir, AOP doesn't depend on MVC, MVC doesn't depend on JMS, JMS doesn't depend on email, email doesn't depend on ORM. All are independent modules. Sir, if you want to send the email, sending email in the real world is a very important task. Okay. See, nowadays you people are getting a lot of emails, from bank applications, right? For example, if you have credit card, okay, every month you are getting emails. Once the card is generated, you are getting emails. Nowadays, even if you withdraw some amount, you are getting, email or message, email, right? Yes or no? For example, if you go for ICICI Bank, if you withdraw, 10,000 money, immediately you will get an email. Yes, you withdraw 10,000 okay, amount. If you swipe your credit card in one shop, you will get an email. Yes. How they are sending email? They have to design some logic, right? Sir, believe me, if you know Spring, sending email even with attachments, the attachments half an hour task only. First time half an hour task. Next time maybe 20 minutes or 10 minutes task only. That flexibility we can see in Spring. Yeah, very simple. With simple logic, you can send the email. But you know what Spring is expecting? What is the to address? What is the from address? What is the subject? What is the message? If you have any attachment, what is the attachment? That's it. If you give that information to the Spring, Spring will take care about sending the email. May I ask, okay, which provider it will use? Gmail or Yahoo or your company emails? Yes, that is again depends on your configuration. If you configure Gmail, yes, you can send the email using Gmail providers, email providers. Working with web services also very simple. Very simple. Nowadays, if you want to learn web service in depth, I'm talking about not only basics of web services, okay, one or two hello world programs. Like real world applications. If you want to design the REST API with all the features, sometimes I want to get XML in the form of response in the form of XML, response in the form of JSON. Okay, now implementation of REST API in real world. If you use the Spring Boot or Spring, yes, easily we can handle it. Okay, yeah, that is different story. Okay, that's why if you're strong in Spring framework, learning any module, any technology like web services in depth. Yeah, without Spring also we can design it, but nowadays people are not using without Spring. Okay, with the Spring, yes, developer life is very simple. Easily we can work with web services. But anyway, I'm not going to cover Spring with the web services here. Where in web services part, we'll discuss about how to integrate with the Spring. Okay. Now, yeah, these are the models. Again, to cover all these models, it may take minimum 60 hours. Minimum 60 hours. It's not like core Java collections or exceptions or oops concepts. Each and every concept we have the integration stream. If you take Hadoop, yes, we have integration. Kafka. If you take cloud, you have integration. If you take microservices, we have integration. Security, yes, without Spring you can provide the security, but with the Spring you can provide the security. Without Spring you can connect the database using JDBC or Hibernate, but with the Spring again you can connect the database. If you attended Spring framework, we can touch all the areas from core Java to J2EE. We can touch core Java, we can touch advanced Java, JDBC, Servlet, JSP. We need Hibernate, we need JPA, we need JMS, we need email, we need schedulers. Okay, we need microservices. We can work with microservices. We can connect the database using Spring some modules. Like all Java J2E technologies we can touch in Spring framework. Okay, again yeah, these are the modules I am going to cover. But this is Spring. Initially, I will start with this one only because again to understand Spring Boot, Spring Data. Okay, now this dependency injection, Spring core knowledge is required. That's why this is freshers. Okay, if you are looking job, okay, as fresher, okay, or if you're working with company 1+ years of experience, okay, or 2+, okay, if you want to change to the company, okay, now better to learn this part. But some people has 4 years, 3 years. Still, there some people they are looking for new technologies, new versions of new latest versions of integrations. Okay, now we want to use microservices or cloud. Okay, or Spring Data. Okay, or they have some people have 10 years of experience, 8 years of experience. Okay, in US, people are searching jobs with 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. Hmm? Those people better to learn this part also, but it's optional. Okay, but my suggestion is okay, better to learn entire Spring. Okay, that's why we divided the Spring into two parts: core part, I mean Spring one, advanced part. Okay, yeah. Now, what is the prerequisite? What is the prerequisite? to learn Spring. I told you already, to learn Spring core Java knowledge is enough. In core Java, you should be strong in where OOPS concepts. See, without core Java, you can't learn Java. I mean, advanced concepts of Java, right? Main OOPS concepts, collections, exceptions. Okay. Yeah, some java.lang package. Threads. IO package not that much important. Threads also not that much important. But OOPS collections, exceptions are very, 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 very important. Generics. I mean collections. Generics also comes in the generics. So generics also comes in the collections only. Those areas you should be strong. Next DAO. To learn this module, we need JDBC. What is the meaning of statement, prepare statement, callable statement, simple, how to connect the database, what are the steps to connect database. Okay, that knowledge is enough. To learn ORM, we need Hibernate. Yes, we need Hibernate. To learn AOP, sir, main core knowledge is required, core Java. Some work experience is required, working knowledge in company. If even people are asking, sir, I don't have work experience, can I understand AOP? I will take care. Okay, I will discuss about where we are using the AOP in real world. Generally, to work with logging, log4j, logging security, okay, transactions, okay, transactions. Now, transactions, so we are using AOP. So, prerequisites analogy main core Java and logging, log4j. If you know log4j, yes, you can understand, AOP. Okay, next, sir, to understand the MVC, we need servlets and JSP, servlets and JSP. Yes. Now, servlets and JSP. To understand JMS knowledge is required. But I think you people don't know about JMS. Maybe working people they may know JMS. Okay, if you are learning Java in Amirpet, okay, people if you are not working, people those people they don't know about JMS. Okay, but even if you don't know JMS, no problem. I will give some introduction about JMS and I will discuss the Spring with JMS. Even email from your end, you should be strong in at least core Java and advanced Java. Okay. Next, email API. Again, to understand email, we need email knowledge, Java email. Okay, even if you don't know email, I will give some introduction about email and I will discuss it. Email. See, email is nothing, man. Email is used to send the email only. Okay. Now, just this 20 to 25 minutes topic only, excellent concept in real world. Okay. Now, yeah, this is yeah. Forget about this part. Okay, we'll discuss. Once I am done with this part. Okay, first I will go with Spring core only. Okay, I mean Spring Basic, these models only. Later we'll discuss about these models. Okay, this separate batch. I'm not including into this batch. Okay. Now, yeah, that's it, man. This is introduction about simple models. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll discuss it regarding syllabus. Sir, this is high level syllabus, but low level. If you observe this one, uh, low level syllabus. Okay. Now 1 minute here. Low level material, if you go to my Spring syllabus, okay, now Spring Core has n number of Spring Core has n number of you know Topics: Spring Core, Introduction, Dependency Injection, Setter Injection, Constructor Injection, Injecting Primitive Data Type and Collection Classes and Wrapper Classes, Auto Wiring, Inner Beans, Alias Name, Lazy Initialization, Bean Inheritance, Factory Methods, Bean Lifecycle, Bean Scopes, Dependency Check. Depends on aware interfaces, working with property file, multiple configuration files, pre-process and post-process, and finally, I18N and annotations. So just in Spring Core, I am going to discuss about these number of concepts. Okay. Next, DAO. I mean second module. This module, I am going to cover in in DAO. Drawbacks of plain JDBC. Sir, you are learning Spring JDBC, right? What is the drawback of plain JDBC? What are the advantages you will get in Spring JDBC? Yes, JDBC template, named parameter JDBC template, simple JDBC template. All the methods defined in the JDBC template. Okay, DAO support, callback interfaces, driver manager data source, basic data source, combo pool data source, server supply data source. Sir, data source concept is a very, very important in the real world. Okay, they will ask the questions in data source, which data source you used in your project. Okay, you should be strong in this area, data source part. In Amirpet and the classroom, we are not using data source generally, but in the company, real world applications are large scale applications. N number of users, we have, right? Not one or two. In the thousands of users you will get sometimes. If you go for IRCTC, you can expect lakhs of requests per second. Lakhs. Okay, to book the Tatkal ticket at 9 a.m. or 11 a.m., you can see lakhs of requests per second, but your application should handle it. With one connection, two connections, you can't handle it. You should be used, group of connections. But how to work with group of connections by using data source only? Okay. Next, AOP. Sir, ORM. Again, drawbacks of plain Hibernate. Now Spring with Hibernate, Spring with Hibernate without template, with the template, Hibernate template, DAO support and callback interfaces. Next, Spring AOP. In AOP, introduction, need of AOP. What is the need of AOP in real world? Without AOP, can't we develop the project? Yes, we can develop it. But if you use the AOP, okay, a lot of advantages you can see. What are the need? What are the advantages? Aspect, join point, point card, advice, target, weaving, proxy, architecture of Spring AOP, before advice, after ending advice, throws advice, around advice, XML based AOP, schema based AOP, annotation based AOP. Sir, XML based AOP used in where Spring 1, schema based AOP used in where Spring 2.52, annotation based AOP used in where Spring 3, Spring 4, Spring 5. Sir, which version of modules you are discussing in Spring? That is important question. Okay, I am discussing Spring 3.x and 5.x both. Initially, I will start with the 3.x. Why? Because we need XML based configurations and annotation based configuration. But while working with the Spring Boot, I will use Spring 5 only. Okay, without annotations, with simple XML based configurations, I am using Spring 3 only. Okay, both versions you will get some idea. Both versions I will use it. How many examples we are going to cover in Spring? We can expect more than 120 or 130 programs. Yes, all Spring modules, more than 130, 140 programs we will discuss in the classroom. Already we have those number of programs. The previous batch I discussed it. In Spring MVC, yes, introduction. What are the MVC resources? Commands or models, dispatcher servlet, controllers, Spring MVC flow. Okay, steps to develop application, handler mapper, BNAME your handler mapping, simple one handler mapping, validations, view resolvers, XML view resolver, resource bundle view resolver. Next, Spring with JMS, Spring with the quad schedulers, OXM, okay, email, like, n number of modules you have. Spring Boot, yes, already we know the module names, right? This is, high level syllabus, sir, low level syllabus. High level syllabus already we covered it in Spring. These are the modules, but each module, you have n number of concepts. We'll discuss it. Sir, if you have any questions regarding syllabus, okay, let me know. Hello? I'm expecting some response from you people. No questions, right? No, actually, Spring is divided into two parts, James. Okay, James' question is, are you going to cover Spring Advanced also in this module? See, in modules, actually, uh, we have n number of modules. We divided into two parts. So if you joined both modules, I mean both entire Spring, yes, okay, will allow. Okay, some people they don't want to understand, learn these modules. They need only these modules. Okay, now they will pay only for fee for only this part. Okay, they can join. If you join the entire Spring, yes, we'll discuss it. But once I completed this Spring, next day itself I will start this Spring Boot. I mean this Spring Advanced. Okay, for your question, the answer is yes. We'll discuss it. Sir, what is the duration of both Spring and Spring Advanced? 2 months, 60 hours. I'm talking about hours. Maybe it may, yeah, 2 months. Even if we give holidays, Saturday and Sundays, but sometimes one, for example, this week if we give holiday, maybe next week I may take extra hours, weekends. But I will update you. Okay, weekend extra hours timings. Okay, advance in 3 days advance. I will update you. Hmm? So total duration is 2 months. See, sir, if I covered daily one module, how many days it will take? Minimum, 13, 14 days it will take. But learning these number of concepts, okay, within 1 week, 10 days, some people are tracking, sir, is it possible to learn Spring in 10 days? Uh, See, if you learned each concept one day, it may take, all these concepts, okay, all these concepts, it may take minimum 3 months. Those number of concepts we have. But for example, sometimes Spring core, okay. Now inner beans and aliasing will complete one day. Yeah, a number of concepts you have. So to complete all these concepts, minimum, yeah, 2 months. But if any faculty they are going to cover in 10 days or 1 week or 15 days, you may learn only definition. You may learn only definitions. Okay. Yes, what is Spring Core? What is the JDBC? Maybe JDBC one or two programs they may cover. But I will cover only JDBC. I will spend only JDBC 1 week time. 1 week only on JDBC. This part, more than 10 days I will cover. More than 10 days I will cover all these concepts. Yeah, so total, expect 2 months time. Vaishnavi? Yeah, okay. Yeah, any questions still regarding syllabus? Syllabus, we can compare the syllabus with any other faculty, other institutes. Okay, yeah. My syllabus is, has a more number of, concepts we have. Now, see, what is the definition of Spring? At least today I want to discuss about definition. Anyway, I introduced all the modules. Okay, syllabus. Now, what is the definition of Spring? Okay. Now, Spring is open source. Yes, Spring is an open source software. Open source, lightweight, lightweight, loosely coupled, dependency injection based Java framework. Dependency injection based, Java framework. Sir, in entire all these points, important one is dependency injection. So, what is the meaning of open source, lightweight, loosely coupled? Okay, we'll discuss in coming session. But dependency injection today I will cover. I think to cover dependency injection it may take half an hour, but I will give introduction about dependency injection. Dependency injection on design pattern in Java. Okay, entire Spring talks about only dependency injection. If you know dependency injection, we can play the games with all these modules. Yes, all these modules. All these module talks about only dependency injection. Okay. Now, how can you work with, sir? What is the meaning of dependency injection? Sir, dependency injection. Hmm? Dependency injection. Now, see, to understand dependency injection, divide this dependency injection into two parts. Dependency injection. What is the meaning of dependency? Dependency, sir, has a relation is called dependency, right? What is the meaning of has a relationship? Already you learned in core Java. Is a, has a. Is a nothing but inheritance. Has a means association, right? Association or dependencies. Association. Now example. Sir, I have simple class called employee, and another class called public class called address. But employee has address, public address, address. Sir, what is the story here? Public address. Now here employee has address. Employee has address. This is nothing but dependency. Employee has address. Yes, right? Dependency. Nothing is there. Okay, simple concept. Dependency. Class A has class B. Employee has address. Okay, student has address. Cricket team has players, n number of players, right? Cricket team has n number of players. Okay, cricket team has n number of players. DAO depends on connection. Sir, without connection, how can you connect the database? Without in DAO. DAO data access object class. DAO class depends on connection. Okay. Faculty depends on online trainer, depends on internet, laptop. Yes, that is also dependency. Dependency is a very important concept. Any question on dependency? No, simple concept. Dependency, employee has address. But injection, what do you mean of injection? Injection, nothing but setting. Injection. If you go to hospitals, you can see injection term, right? Doctors will give injection. What they are doing there? For example, patient needs some medicine. Medicine. Medicine means liquid, right? Okay. Now doctor has to inject. Doctor has to send medicine into patient body. What they are doing? They are injecting, right? They are giving injection. No, take one simple injection, and they take liquid and injecting into patient body. But how they are injecting is different story. Doctors will do it. Same. This is the patient. Employee is the patient. Address is the medicine. Now patient depends on medicine. Medicine injected into patient object. Who will inject? Doctor will inject. See here, injection. Address object is injected into employee. Address is separate object. Employee is separate object. Patient is separate object. Medicine is separate object. Medicine object is injected into patient object. Address object is injected into patient. Address object is injected into a employee object. Who will inject? Spring will inject. Their doctor will inject. Here, Spring will inject. Their nurse will inject. Here, Spring will inject. What Spring dependence injection means? Sir, if you have any dependent objects, one object depends on another object. Our employee depends on address object. Spring will create address object and employee object. Address object will be injected into the student object, or employee object, or customer object. Is nothing but a dependency injection. Dependency injection. Okay? Dependency nothing but has a relationship, I mean association. Injection nothing but setting. How can we inject the data, set the data, one object data into another object? How can we set the data address object into employee object? For this one, we can use either constructor or setter method, right? Setter methods are used to set the data. Constructors are used to create the object. While creating the object, we can populate some data, right? Yes or no? Parametric constructor. Sir, we can use either constructor or setter method to populate the data. That's why we have setter injection and constructor injection. There are two types of injections in Spring: setter injection and constructor injection. What is the meaning of setter injection? If Spring container inject the data by using setter method, that injection nothing but no setter injection. If Spring container inject the data by using parametric constructor, that injection is nothing but no constructor injection. That's it. Okay. If you use the Spring framework to get the dependent object to inject it, okay. Now we are not using any new keyword. Okay, old style is using new keyword, right? If you want to create any connection object or DAO class object, employee DAO equal to new employee DAO, we are writing, right? New employee DAO. But there is no new keyword. If you need object, you can ask, hey Spring, hey, please give me employee object. Please give me DAO object. Please give me connection object. Spring will create the connection object and give it to you. Object maintenance is maintained by Spring framework. We are not maintaining. Spring will take care. Developer life is very simple if you use Spring framework while working with real-time projects. Otherwise, a lot of objects you have to create. Spring will maintain hundreds of objects or thousands of objects, depends on the project. But by default, don't create all Spring won't create all the objects. No, Spring won't create all the objects. Only some limited classes objects will create. What are the limited classes? We'll discuss in the coming session. No single day covering all those concepts are not possible. Okay, dependence injection. So Spring talks about only this dependence injection. Okay, Spring it is an open source, lightweight, loosely coupled. And dependence injection based Java framework. Dependency injection based Java framework to develop the any type of application. Web application we can design, enterprise application we can design, core Java based application you can, standalone application you can design. N number of applications and any type of applications you can design it using Spring framework. Yeah, that's it, man. This is a simple, definition of Spring and dependency injection. We'll continue from tomorrow. Okay, actual class will start from tomorrow. Okay, yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll discuss regarding syllabus or dependency injection.